Tonight on the Night Team.
And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more, but we'll do everything possible where that won't be the case.
The joint U.S.-Israel strike on Iran confirmed to have killed at least 3 U.S. service members. Tonight, President Trump is saying it's likely there will be more. And questions now remain on who will lead Iran. The president saying tonight that all the possible candidates to replace the Iranian supreme leader were all killed in the strike.
We're all weary of war. We don't want war. Nobody wants war.
And Louisvillians taking to Jefferson Square Park today to call for a ceasefire and an end to the military operation in Iran. Right now on the WHAS11 Night Team.
Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved. We have very strong objectives.
We have new information tonight as we continue to bring the latest in this developing news. President Donald Trump is returning to the White House following this weekend's Iranian strikes and telling a New York Times reporter over the phone that the action could continue for multiple weeks. Thanks for joining us here on the Night Team. I'm Alex Dieterer. 3 American service members have been killed so far by the joint U.S. and Israel strike on Iran. 5 other Americans have been seriously injured and hundreds of thousands are left stranded in the midst of the war zone. The president declaring that this is just the beginning. ABC's Johnny Fernandez reports from New York.
Tonight, the first American casualties in the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran. U.S. officials confirming 3 service members killed and 5 more seriously wounded in an Iranian attack in Kuwait. Retaliation for the assassination of the country's supreme leader. Late today, President Trump releasing a video from Mar-a-Lago honoring the fallen and warning there will likely be more.
As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. And sadly, there will likely be more.
U.S. forces striking more than 1,000 targets. Israel says the joint operation has crippled nearly all of Iran's defenses. The president posting on social media that 9 Iranian naval ships have been destroyed or sunk, claiming Iran's top military leaders want to surrender. Sources telling ABC News the CIA tracked the supreme leader for months.
All in a matter of literally minutes. Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead.
Iranian leaders now threatening American forces and allies. As the president warns if Iran strikes the U.S., it will respond with the force never been seen before. Iran's foreign minister responding.
What the United States is doing is an act of aggression. What we are doing is the act of self-defense.
Across the Gulf, countries reporting Iranian drone and missile attacks, many aimed at U.S. bases across the region. In Israel, 9 people were killed from a strike outside Jerusalem as protests erupt in cities across Europe and the U.S. Johnny Fernandez, ABC News, New York.
The administration's actions were met with a mix of responses. Kentucky Representative Thomas Massie is co-sponsoring a bipartisan war powers resolution with California Democrat Ro Khanna. House Speaker Mike Johnson says a formal congressional vote on that could happen as soon as Thursday. But here in Louisville,
ceasefire now, ceasefire now, ceasefire now, ceasefire now.
Downtown Louisville this afternoon was filled with song. The voices of Kentuckians saying no to American action in Iran. The Night Team's Clarice Shaley and photojournalist Connie Offit listened to their concerns along with an Iranian American who lives here in Louisville.
Keep our neighbors safe.
Rallied in song.
Keep our neighbors safe.
Tuning their issues to the same note.
Ceasefire now.
The Ceasefire Now song was added today because of the events from yesterday.
Downtown Louisville's Jefferson Square Park is filled with music as people rally against actions by the Trump administration and current politics. Another focus of the grievances was added when the U.S. and Israel joined forces and attacked Iran, killing the country's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and unsettling the regime in the country. It's one of the many reasons why people come to put their voice to music, like Marissa Bienhauer.
I feel very powerless. There's not that much that I can do, and so that's why coming here is nice.
After Saturday's attack, Farah Mokhtarizadeh is even more afraid.
Yeah, we're terrified. Terrified of what could happen, because I don't believe that the leaders of this country or of Israel have the best interest of their own people or the Iranian people at heart.
She says communication is limited with friends and family in Iran. She says there's limited internet access and it's not safe to talk about political topics over the phone. For Mokhtarizadeh,
it's a very complicated feeling.
Complicated because she disagrees with what the regime has done for well over 4 decades. But she says she believes American tax dollars are better spent in the States.
We can work out our problems through diplomacy and dialogue, not through killing and violence and brutality. It's not going to create a peaceful Middle East, and it's not going to create a peaceful United States or Israel.
Till everybody's free.
What they're doing is messed up.
Other people share a similar tune. With photojournalist Connie Offit, Clarice Shaley, WHAS11 Night Team on your side.
We also heard from Iranian Americans yesterday who are here living in Kentuckiana, who celebrated the actions of the Trump administration and thanked them for taking down their dictator. Well, we're now taking a look at our future cast, and it's looking like we're trading the sunshine we've had the past few days for a lot of rain and a not-so-fun commute for tomorrow. Meteorologist Austin Evans joins us now from the Weather Center. And Austin, get those umbrellas ready.
Umbrellas ready. Make sure you have extra time tomorrow. That's really what we've been saying the past few days now. We do have a winter weather advisory in place for the counties in purple. That goes until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And it's in the area where the snow chances are the highest, where the sleet chances are the highest. And here's the 3 things you need to know. And of course, it's been a relatively mild day today. We had a mild afternoon, that cloud cover increasing. You see how big those snowflakes are? That's probably how big they're going to be tomorrow morning. But right now, taking a look here at temperatures, we're still right at 40 degrees, upper 30s if you're not in the 40s. 35 in Seymour, 36 in Bedford, 34 in Madison, still 40 here in Louisville, 41 in Campbellsville, 43 in Litchfield. So we are taking our time and cooling off, which will play into tomorrow morning. A little breezy as well, up to about 10 miles per hour in some locations. And here's a live look at radar, and you can see that stuff to our west is beginning to move in. And here's a real quick check of your tomorrow morning planner. You can see how wet it's going to be through tomorrow morning, how cloudy too, but how temperatures rise to well above freezing. I'll time everything out tomorrow, weather impact alert period, in my full forecast.
All right, thank you, Austin. Kentucky State Police are investigating a car crash that killed a woman last night in Mount Washington. Deputies say a teenager driving a pickup truck heading west on 44 East overcorrected, causing the car to cross into the path of an SUV traveling in the opposite direction. The truck hit the SUV head-on, causing it to roll down a hill, landing on its roof. The driver of the SUV has been identified as 27-year-old Sarah Wiseman of Shepherdsville, and she was found dead at the scene. The teenage driver of the truck was uninjured. Kentucky State Police are continuing to investigate. And all new information here tonight on the night team. Denise Baird, the wife of Indiana Congressman Jim Baird, has died following complications from a car crash they were both in earlier this year. Baird's office made this announcement this morning. In a statement on social media, Baird's office said, quote, Congressman Baird and Denise were married for 59 years, building a life centered on faith, family, and service. A devoted wife and loving mother of 3, she was the foundation of their family and will be deeply missed. We ask that you keep the congressman and his family in your prayers during this difficult time, end quote. Jim and Denise Baird were injured in a car crash in Washington, D.C. this year in January. Jim was released from the hospital less than 24 hours after the incident, while Denise was released less than a week later. Baird, who represents the 4th Congressional District in West Central Indiana, is 80 years old.